Hi everyone! So this is my day 14 quarantine distraction video that I'm doing while we're off school with the coronavirus quarantine that we have going on here. Today I had a wonderful experience. I was doing a live demo on the Facebook page Clay Buddies, which is really awesome if you're looking for a great resource. Clay Buddies is a really great Facebook group. But I did an hour-long demo on thrown and altered forms on the wheel. So I saved the video, thought I would go ahead and post it here. So I am responding to some of the Facebook Live questions and comments and things. It was kind of funny. And I do apologize. It was vertical. For some reason, every time I kept trying, it kept popping up. And it made me go vertical with the Facebook Live video. So I know it's a different format than what we're used to, but there's some fun information. Hopefully you'll find it helpful, and I'll probably do some more elaborate videos on these techniques in the future. So I hope you enjoy this. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep potting. Okay, we're going with vertical. Hopefully this is working now. Sorry everyone. I really did test it out. The technology has been the one thing that I was nervous about today, of trying to get it right and everything. So welcome to you all. Third time's a charm. This is the final day of the Clay Buddies workshops, and I'm the first one this morning. It's our 10 o'clock slot, even though I'm in Ohio, so it's actually 11 o'clock here. Thank you. Oh, good. I'm glad it's working now. Sorry about that. My name is Karen Walsh, and I am a high school ceramics teacher, and I've been teaching for like 29 years now. And I am, of course, off school right now with the coronavirus. So it's really wonderful to be here in a community. Hi, Cammie. Hi, Sydney. Thanks. It's really nice to be here in a community of other people who love clay. My kids have been emailing me this week. I've been getting a lot of emails saying, Mrs. W, are we going to be able to finish our pots? And I don't even know what I can tell them at this point. I'm hoping that I might see them before the end of the school year. Who knows? We'll see. Okay, so my little demo that I'm doing for you today is thrown and altered pieces. Now, I've already thrown pieces, and I'm going to be altering them today. I have a variety of different things. One of the things that I want to talk about is darting. Then I want to talk about throwing and altering like open forms. And then I have what I'm saving for the end is one of my favorite things that I do sometimes. It's creating a bowl, slicing it, putting it together, creating oval piece. It's kind of cool. I've actually never seen another potter do it, so I'm kind of excited to show that to you guys. So let's see. Oh, thanks, Jocelyn. Hey, I'm excited to do a live feed. I've never done a live feed before, so yeah, it's kind of funny. It's weird how nervous I have been for this. With a video, the nice thing is I can just do it and edit it and take out all my goofs and everything like that. So we'll see how this works today. So what I have thrown here, let me see. Did I cut? Okay, that's one without the bottom. Let me just start with this one. How do I make the comments are just kind of in the way of what I'm seeing here? Let me tilt this down. That will help. I have my daughter as my technical consult here today. She's helping me out. Oh, thanks, Sarah. Hi, everyone. I see Nadine. Oh, Kansas and Florida, Bonnie. And that one that was Mark. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. So, I have a little cylinder that I have thrown here, and it's on this, maybe the stickier side of leather hard. It's not really leaving stuff on me, but it's still soft. No, it's, yeah, somewhere between plastic and leather hard. Let's just say that. So what I wanted to talk about are darts. And unfortunately, most of the examples that I had that I would have liked to have shown you are at school right now. And I am locked out of school. We can't go into school because they are trying to abide by our governor's orders here. So I wanted to make some paper darts just to show you as an example of what darts can do. Now, if you fold your paper in half, and I didn't need to fold it as large as I did there, okay, and you draw half of a dart, that will kind of give you an idea of what I'm going backwards here. It'll give you an idea of what the profile of the pot would be. So if I'm looking at the side of this pot, this is so weird to like do this backwards. It's contrary to what I'm thinking. If I look at the side of the pot would angle in. Oh my gosh, I'm totally doing this backwards. This is so weird. It's hard to hold my hands like that. So there are a variety of dart shapes that I use with my students. So let's say a dart like this. So this is the fold over here. And let's see, I'll do just a straight dart. Okay, so I'm gonna trim these out. I often have people, it's funny how and I should have mentioned, okay, so I'm a high school teacher and I have a YouTube channel, which is, I had it hanging up back here, but it's not going to be seen. Wait, where's the camera? There it is. There's my social media stuff. Karen's Pots and Glass. I am on YouTube as Karen's Pots and Glass because originally my Etsy shop was Karen's Pots and Glass, and I did that because of I was doing pottery and fused glass. And then after a while I realized everyone and their brother was doing fused glass, so I kind of stopped it, but I already had my name and I just left it like that. Okay, so I'm trimming out the darts. Shannon, if you see any questions popping up, let me know, okay? Because I'm trying to see some things. All right, so I've got 3 different dart shapes, and I'll do one more even. Okay, so the flat edge, that would be the top edge of the pot, is what I'm visualizing there. And let me do one more. Of course, I could have had these cut out for you beforehand, but it's funny how, like in my YouTube videos, when I do something like that, someone's like, how do you cut the dart? So I just figure I just show people. All right, so this one, that's going to be like a leaf shape or a football, elongated football, something like that. Okay, so these are 4 common dart shapes. Now, the cool thing about darting something is if you've never tried it before, it gives you the ability to totally transform a form, and it can be really, really quite fun. When you look online, just Google, darted ceramic pottery shapes, and you will see some just amazing examples. I really enjoy using them with slab work a lot, but I think it's a lot of fun to experiment and do it with thrown stuff too. Oh, Heather, you're a high school teacher too. I know. Don't you miss your kids? I start thinking about it, and I try not to cry because I think about all those seniors that are in my 3rd level class who have been wanting to take my class for 3-4 years, and we have all these beautiful pieces. They were just getting into it. We were just getting into plates. They have beautiful stuff, and I have it all wrapped up in my cabinets at school, not sure if I'm going to be able to see them again. So I digress. Anyway, okay, so here we go. When you do a dart, okay, and it doesn't have to be this long. I'm just kind of showing it like this. Let me use my little turntable thing. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure that it's kind of lined up and it's level at the top. Now, the other thing that I do at school, I make darts that I have like a pouch of darts that my kids can use, and I will put other lines on them. So maybe if I just want a short dart, I can use that nice horizontal line to line it up with the top edge. And that way, if you're trying to make multiple darts in a piece, they can all be the same level. So I'm going to go to that. Instead of the very, very tippy top, I'm going to go to that top edge. I just want to make sure it looks level. Okay. And then I'm just going to trace it. Okay. So, all right. So, can you see that? Oh my gosh, where'd it go? Oh my gosh. I'm totally spinning this backwards. Apparently, I must not video like this ever because I'm trying to go in the wrong direction all the time. Okay, so I have my dart. Now let's say I want to just make a single dart in it. That's great. If I am ready to cut this, I'm going to make a couple marks here on the top edge because I want to show you. I'm going to cut it at a bevel. Where's the camera? Okay, so if you can see, oh, for heaven's sake. This is so weird. Okay, so if you can see my lines that I just, where is it? Right there and there. This is so funny. I'm just really flipped around.
Joy says you have beautiful nails, Mom.
Oh, thanks, Joy. I started doing my nails about a year ago because I was tired of seeing my man hands in the videos and I wanted to have like something a little bit more feminine. Thank you. Okay, so I have the line marked at an angle because I'm going to cut this dart at a beveled angle. So I'm going to hold my knife at an angle and I'm letting the blade just slide along the marked line that I have there. Okay. All right. There we go. So now when I've taken this out, if you can see, the dart actually does have beveled edges. Hopefully that makes sense. It's cut at an angle. Sorry if that's out of focus. There we go. Okay. So when I go to put that together, then this is just like working with slabs. These bevels are going to be overlapping and they're going to be touching. So beveling is one of the key things that I try to teach my kids about darting, because if they don't do the bevel, you just have a blunt edge that's going together. And if you have a blunt edge, it has more of a tendency to pull out. But if you have those bevels that are overlapping, then they usually are a little bit stronger, I think. Okay, so when putting something together like this, of course, I would score. Oh, and I am using Laguna B-Mix, and this is, let's see, this is without grog. I use both B-Mix with and B-Mix without. It's a cone 5.6 mid-fire. All right, so I'm just going to put that together. Now, this is more or less just, I'm not making really a finished form for you. I'm just trying to show an experiment with darting for these first couple of things. Okay. So as I put that together, of course, I would be cleaning that up, pressing it on the interior. I'd be blending it. I love these. I think this is a Kemper wood tool. I forget what the abbreviation is, but I always like this one. So I have kind of a funny story. So I'm a full-time ceramics teacher, and I teach 6 classes of ceramics a day. And I always refer to this as the pointy tool that kind of looks like a pencil, because on this other end, it kind of looks a little bit like a pencil. But my colleague, Pam, who, Mrs. Valentine, if some of you guys have seen some of my videos, she would tell her students, she would call this, because I called it the pointy tool that looks like a pencil, she would call it the Wenzel. So I still have students in my upper level classes that refer to this as the Wenzel, and it cracks me up. So I miss her funny little abbreviations that she would have for all sorts of tools. And where's maybe I don't have it over here, but I use that Kemper scratch wire brush sometimes. And she just called it the witch's broom with her kids, which cracks me up. So I often have kids in my class now still asking for the witch's broom, which is kind of funny. So there we go. I would just put that together. And when I am cleaning, I'm always cleaning, usually with a paintbrush. I don't usually sponge because I normally use groggy clay. And most of you would know, but if you sponge clay that's grogged, you're going to be sponging and removing the tiny particles of clay, and you would end up by having a really gritty surface, which you don't want. Okay, so this one, whenever I do something like this, it always looks like a little bird butt to me, and like it should have tail feathers sticking out. You know, something like this could really lend itself to be a neat, picture, or, with a handle or something like that. Let's talk about another kind of a dart. Let's see, I did this one. So let's do the opposite, okay? So instead of this one is kind of poofed out and this one is kind of poofed in. This one is probably a little bit wider than I wanted, so I might not do the entire thing. I'll go ahead and make another line.
We have a question.
Oh, question.
Harriet asked, if you have photos of your pots, can you show them to us on your phone? You want to give them the handles again, the social media stuff?
Oh, yes. Okay, so here's my social media stuff, Harriet. I'm doing the video on my phone, so I can't show you anything like on my phone. I can't show you photos on my phone. Hi, Stacy. Okay, so I'm Karen's Pots and Glass. If you just put in Karen's Pots and Glass, you'll be able to see. And honestly, I've been really bad about my social media. I need to get a lot more stuff up. I'm, being a full-time teacher, it's just really hard. And then I have the school social media too, which makes it a challenge. Okay, so going back to this dart. Harriet, if I have time at the end, I'll see if I can show you some of my pieces at the end. All right, so this one, I'm going to line up directly opposite. I'll do the first line as well. So I'm going to do it directly opposite. Okay, so I'll line it up like that. And then I'll go ahead and mark it again. So yeah, if you guys wanted to check out my YouTube channel, I have a ton of videos. I originally started making videos for my students. Oh, Thelma, you're in Ohio. What part of Ohio? I'm in Lebanon. I forgot to tell you guys that. I'm in Lebanon, Ohio, which is in between Cincinnati and Dayton. So when NCECA is in Cincinnati next year, woot woot, I'm super duper excited about that. Maybe I'll actually get the time to go. It seems like every year when I request to go, I never get accepted to go. Well, from my school, that is. I don't get off for professional leave. All right, so again, beveled. Okay. And then I'm going to cut. Okay. And then this one will round the opposite way. So it should round outward a little bit more. So you can see the difference in that. Okay. Oh, Kara's in Dayton. And who's from Finland? Sonia is in Finland. Oh, thanks, Joy. One of your closest friends lives in Lebanon, Jocelyn. Awesome. Golden Lamb, yes. Oldest inn in Ohio. The Golden Lamb is a restaurant and an inn. Okay.
It's the oldest continually operating business in Ohio.
That's true. My daughter, who is the history person, just said it's the oldest continuously operating business in the state of Ohio. That's pretty cool. All right, so we put that one together. Bellefontaine. Is that up there where the Neil Armstrong, where the Space Museum thing is? Is that Bellefontaine?
He's from Wapakoneta.
Wapakoneta. Sorry. Don't mean to lump Bellefontaine and Wapakoneta together. Is the bevel the same angle on each side or opposite? Good question. Okay. So I always hold my knife at exactly the same angle. So like, how do I explain this? So like if I'm holding my knife at this angle on this side, I hold it at exactly the same angle on that side. So if the bevel is going like this on one side, which it's like this, then it's going like this on the other side. Same angle. Okay. Oh, hi. Is it Shritha? I'm so sorry. I butchered that. I tried. But you joined us late. I am doing thrown and altered pieces. So these are cylinders that I'm darting. So I've used a couple of darts already. The Lacey, I think were you asking about the bevels? That the bevels are the exact same bevel. Washington, North Carolina. Nice. I love North Carolina. I was supposed to go to Asheville this week. That was a bummer.
We have someone from Niagara on the Lake here.
Niagara on the Lake. I love Niagara on the Lake. Oh my gosh. That's so pretty up there. Yeah, if you guys haven't visited Niagara on the Lake up in Ontario, it is an awesome little town. Lots of wineries. Woot. I want to go back. I've gone through all my Niagara on the Lake wine. My kids aren't watching this, are they? I can talk about wine on here, right? I don't know. Adam, hi. Okay, so I see Adam just said hi. Adam is my former student, and the funniest thing about Adam is he went on to do ceramics and everything, but I only had him in elementary school. I don't think you took ceramics in high school, Adam. It cracked me up when I realized that here he was, one of my former students is doing clay full time, but yet I didn't even have him in high school. Okay, so there's two entirely different darts. So if I hold this up, you can kind of see how the dart is echoing. Okay, the shape of it. This one, I don't know if it's not bowing out quite as much, but it's echoing. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Let's grab another one. Okay, I just want to do, let's see, this one, I think this one doesn't have a base. Yeah. Okay, so since I was doing throwing and altering today, okay, I wanted to just emphasize that it's always fun to throw something without a base, and then you can put a base on it. You can do a slab, or I have another method that I'll show you in a few minutes on how you can do that. Okay, let's do another dart. So this one is the one that's shaped more like a football or a leaf. You could put this right in the middle, you could put it up near the top edge, bottom edge, whatever. Maybe I'll do it right there coming from the top. This is probably a really chubby, fat dart for this. It's going to really bring it in quite a bit. Okay. Again, hold my knife at a bevel. This time I'm not cutting through the top edge. Okay. And holding it at the same bevel when I cut the opposite side.
We have another question
yes.
from Anne. She asks, how long do your thrown forms set up before altering?
Oh, good question, Anne. Honestly, if I weren't so tired when I got home last night, I would have thrown these last night and probably just draped them lightly with a towel. Instead, I got up this morning, threw them this morning, so they've only been out for a couple of hours, and I did try to use a heat gun with them to kind of speed dry them a little bit for you guys. So it really depends a lot on your humidity. I'm in my basement now, and I have a dehumidifier down here, so it's not as humid as it was outside. We had a lot of rain and stuff yesterday, so this has just been, I guess I finished throwing them around 8:30, so probably 2.5 hours, because 8:30 Ohio time, I should say. And it's, oh my gosh, I gotta get a move on. It's 11:30 already. What happened? Okay, so this one, now I'm just gonna push that in. Okay, so again, if I hold this up, boom, you can see it's like half the dart. Isn't that crazy and funky? I mean, again, these are not finished forms. These are just showing you possibilities of things you can do. And let me do one last one like this really quickly, and then I want to move on. So this is the one that was just literally just like a V. I'm actually going to cut it a little bit skinnier. I wanted, okay. All right, a V. And I'm going to even flip it over because I don't have a bottom on this. So when I want to show you what I think is super fun when you are doing, that's not level, when you're doing slabs especially, I love darting slabs. Okay. And here's my V, and I'm going to do another one on this side opposite. So it's lined up with the first one, the football one. Okay. On the sticky side of leather hard. Yeah, it is. It has plastic qualities to it, but it's not like super sticky where it's coming off on my hands. Again, beveling this.
I just commented because you had another question about what your YouTube channel name is, so I just put that in there.
Thanks, Shannon. It's so nice having my assistant today. I never have an assistant when I make my YouTube videos. Okay, so those would come in, and we're just pretending that I'm slipping and scoring at this point. Okay, so you can see how that kind of comes in. It's a little wacky. Just, I would say my recommendation is just make some cylinders and experiment with darting because it is so much fun. Look up different examples of darted forms. You will just find so many cool things out there that can give you ideas. Again, sorry, all my examples are at school and I'm not permitted to go in. Okay, now let's go to another thing. All right, so here's another cylinder that I've got. Now this one, I'm going to do a cut on it at an angle. I'm looking for, hold on, I need to get my ruler. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so I want to make a cut on this. I want to trim this at an angle. So I want like the whole thing to be like cut at an angle. And there are different ways that I've seen people do this in the past, but I'm just going to, I like to use like a long edge and kind of rotate it around. That's close enough. One really cool way that I've seen is if you have something that's tapered, like a spout or something, you could put a circular form over it and kind of put it at an angle, like a template, a drafting template, put it over the spout. In the case of this one, I usually just freehand though. Okay, now let's go ahead and try this, and I am going to trim this following the line, approximately. I got a little off there, a little above the line. Did I make it around? This one might be a little stickier. Definitely stickier. Okay, so I've now like cut this apart, okay? But here's the fun thing. You can take it and rotate it and put it back together, right? So for those of you that follow Tim, see, he has all of his amazing, robot pieces and his pouring, what do you call them, Tim? Ewers and stuff? They're so cool. But I think you probably do a lot of sectioning like this maybe and putting them together. Okay. All right. So, of course, I would score and slip and stick that together. Okay. I think this part to me is so much fun. Like when you see maybe people that do handles, you know, like tubular handles and stuff like this. I just think it's so much fun. And then, of course, I could do another one if I wanted to angle up, which I probably should have marked it before I actually cut this one. That would have made a lot more sense, wouldn't it have? So I'll just set that. Okay, I'll set that to the side. You kind of get the idea on that one, right? Okay, if I have time, I'll come back to it. Let's see. I wanted to show, let's see, my wire. Here it is. I wanted to show how you could do the same thing on a curved form, and it is pretty cool. These, how do I keep my nails looking good? And I do them myself. Thank you. That's really funny. Yeah. I do them myself. I use, and sorry for all the guys and women who are not interested in this. I do dip powder. I have a Google Doc of links and stuff that I'll try to put it on if I can figure out how to put a link to that. I can show you what I use. All right. Same thing with this. I'm going to rock this around. I'm going to go at it this direction. And then make them match up again. Okay, I don't know if you all can see that line. So I think I said I have been teaching for like 29 years. But I kind of got off my line there. Oopsie. I've been teaching high school ceramics for, I don't know, 22, 23, something like that. Okay, this one is definitely sticky. I probably should have dried this one more. So same thing, pulling that apart. And honestly, if I were trying to make a finished item, I would have waited on this. I'm just rushing this because of the demo. But the same concept. Let's pretend that I scored and slipped and have attached like this.
Another question, are these tube cuts beveled?
No, they're not. Because I'm just sitting it right on top of itself. I don't know. Why was I afraid if I beveled it that maybe they wouldn't line up because I'm cutting it at an angle? I don't know why I didn't do that. But you could try it. Yeah. No, it's just a straight cut. But this is kind of like I've seen really great like canisters and things with this sort of thing, you know, with a little lid. You can reach in there or like a salt cellar type of thing would be kind of fun.
Anne said that same thing. Good way to make salt pigs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Fun. Okay. So that's it for the darts and for the cutting things at an angle. Shannon, on that shelf right up there, do you see those two wet thrown things? The cylinder right in front of your eyeballs.
Right
Hold on.
here? What? Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
Uh-huh.
They're short.
Okay. So the next things that I want to show you are, thank you. Okay. So this is just a bottomless thrown cylinder. Thank you. Oh, I meant to show them. I meant to go get that cracker tray that we use upstairs sometimes. I forgot about that. I'm going to just cut this again. Oh, looks like it's free. Okay. So these are a little stickier than the other ones. I wanted to make sure that they were super flexible. So this is just a bottomless wall that I threw earlier. And I wanted to oval it. Okay. So similar to the way that I ovaled the other one. Okay. But when making a base for this, you could roll out a slab, you know, which is about the same thickness as the wall. Or I wanted to show you which, this is kind of a fun method that I enjoy. Especially when you have something thrown, it's nice to have a bottom that's thrown too, I think. It's kind of cool. So this is just literally a disc, okay? There's no wall to it, okay? I threw that, and I threw it roughly the same diameter that I threw the original bottomless cylinder, roughly, okay? Now, I am going to stretch this, okay? So by holding one edge, and I'm kind of like letting the other edge kind of pull out and stretch, or I could fling it sideways, but I kind of like the pulling a little bit better. That's my favorite.
We have one question. Are you going to make hand-built spouts as additions today?
I wasn't planning on it, but if we have time, I could show you.
Do you have any YouTube videos on that?
Yes, I do have YouTube videos on hand-built spouts. I have a couple of slab teapot videos where I have hand-built spouts on those, and I show them, I have patterns or templates that I put in my video description. So a lot of my videos, because I'm making them for students and maybe for other teachers too, I do a lot of templates in there. Okay, so my goal is I just wanted to try to get this to be the same length as the bottomless cylinder. I'm not going to use this whole piece. Go a little bit more. All right, I'm going to be more aggressive. There we go. I was being too gentle with it. One more. Okay. All right. So this spiral will be my exterior bottom. Let's see what else. And my YouTube is Karen's Pots and Glass. Oh, thank you. I see. Shannon replied. She's quicker than me. Okay. So I am going to mark this. Okay. I like these little guys. These are fun. I have several different forms like this that I've made. I think someone maybe said they're a great planter, and they are. I have one that sits in my kids' bathroom that holds like rolled up washcloths and stuff. It's a big one. I just wanted to go small with you guys today for the demo purposes so I could get through a few more items. Okay. All right. And then if you notice, I did leave the bottom edge just a little bit thicker. Okay. And that enables me to I've got just a little bit more area when I go to attach it. It's just going to be a little bit easier to attach instead of just, a little thin wall down there. I like to make it just a little bit thicker. It kind of like flares out just a teensy bit at the bottom. And then if it flares out on the inside, then I don't even bother with doing a coil or anything. Okay. So I would score and slip. Oh, and by the way, for my slip, I just use water. Most of the time, this happens to be my throwing slip, but it's mostly just water on the top. In my class, I use water with my kids when they're doing slip, unless we have something that definitely needs a little bit more love and attention, something that maybe is a little bit drier or something, and then I do have some prepped slip. I always keep some squeezy bottles. Do I have one? I have one in a bag over someplace. I always keep a squeezy bottle with slip that matches our couple different clay bodies that we use in the class, because I like to have slip trailing slip ready for them. Okay. And then I'm just going to use this Kemper wooden tool, the pointy wooden tool that looks like a pencil, or the Wencel. Okay, just smoothing out, making sure my seam is sealed on the inside, and then on the exterior, I just like to do a little rock kind of a thing. And then if I were thinking, I would have grabbed my foam rubber before coming over here so I'd have something to sit it on. I can use a little towel maybe. So I'm not too sure what this size thing would be, but I like the little ovaled things. I think they're kind of fun. Heather, the question is, do I use B-Mix with my students? I have some B-Mix. So what I do with my kids at school is I have for ceramics 1, we use, I think it's standard 159, if I'm not mistaken. It's a buff stoneware, 5/6. We also use standard 103, which is a grogless earthenware. And I use raku clay with them, which is standard 239, I believe. Okay, so I use 3 clay bodies with them. And same with, that's also with level 2. And in level 3, we pretty much just use the 159, the buff stoneware. But I do have B-Mix, to answer your question, that I have a small amount where I do a Pick a Passion project with my kids. So for their Pick a Passion project, they can choose whatever clay they want. And if they wanted to have something that had the experience of the look of porcelain, they can use the B-Mix for that. And I also have some like dark black clay. Has one of my resources. Karen's Pots and Glass is one of my resources online, which I used when I started making pots almost 3 years ago. Oh, my apron, got it at Amazon. And again, I'll try to put my links, my Google Doc of links up. I didn't even think about that earlier, but it has like my favorite things that I put in there. Okay, so there's an oval thing. Let me just show you an example of maybe, and like, I like the bottom. So it, the whole spiral's not there, but I do like that. And imagine this with like little handles or something. Let me grab this. Sorry, that was totally an armpit shot. This is, it's a little wonky. This was a defective one because I think this moved. But my business card holders, I made that same way, which they're kind of cute, except I think I probably just used a slab on the bottom there. Those are kind of fun. Okay, 15 minutes. Okay. I want to get to my favorite thing. Okay, hold on. I got to get this from my damp box. Okay. Shannon.
Yeah.
You see those ceramic oval bowls over there? The ones that we used to have in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. Hand me both of those if you would. Okay. So, what I want to show you are these. Okay, so these little oval bowls, okay, like this. I have little legs on them, but there's so many different ways that you can finish off the bottom. You can throw a foot ring or whatever if you want to. Okay, so the way that I made these, I got this idea years ago when I went to an exhibit, when it was a woodworking exhibit, okay? So what I have previously done is I have previously thrown a bowl, and it has kind of a broad, funky edge. I've actually had this sitting around for a long time. So I've been keeping it moist though, but it has a broad, funky edge. Okay. And it's even just a little bit domed right here. Okay. This is leather hard. So is this one. Maybe I'll do the smaller one right now. I'll just move the bigger one out of the way. Okay. So I threw a bowl. All right. So I threw it like this. Then I turned it over and I completely trimmed and domed the bottom. So the exterior should be matching exactly what's happening on the interior. Can you picture what I'm going to do yet? Okay. Then I'm going to mark this in half. So I'll just do the ruler again, approximately in half, as close to it as I can get. So I've got, it's barely there. Let's do that again. Okay, so I've got just a little bit of a line. And now I'm going to cut this in half. And I don't know if there's another potter that's doing this out there. I want to know because I've never noticed anyone doing this. And this is, again, I got the idea completely from a woodworker. This guy who would turn bowls and then he made them oval. And I was like, how did you do that? And he explained it to me and I'm like, that is brilliant. I'm going to do that in clay. Okay. All right. So now it's in half. Oh, I didn't trim it exactly perfectly there, but I'm going to be covering it up on the edge anyway. And then you ready? Dun, da, da, da. Isn't that cool? I love this. I love this technique. I think it's so much fun. Okay, so then we're going to put this together. And I have another one that I'll show you too. I'm going to ask my lovely assistant to help me out again, Shannon. Yes. Over on that shelf over there, do you see the real big one that's Majolica?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's down here?
Yeah, it has the divider in it, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it does, yeah.
If you see little dark specks on this, yeah, I want to show you this one too. So this is when we've used this in my kitchen for a long time. This is Majolica. And so this one, same concept, right? Just bigger. And I put a divider in there. So now you can have your broccoli and your carrots or your who knows what all. But I like that. That was just a slab divider that I put in there. Okay. All right, so I'm going to score this. And these are not nearly as moist as the other ones were that I just threw this morning. So I'm going to let that sit on there for a minute. Let that sit on there for a minute. Let that soak in. Let's see, I'm going to try this for sure. Yay! If there aren't other potters doing that, there will be now. Awesome. Yes. It's funny how I started doing these years ago, but I've never made any to sell. I've just made them for fun because I enjoyed it. So, yeah, I've not seen them out there. Okay. I'm just doing a secondary scoring and slipping. So you remember how I had this, it was kind of a funky edge. It was a little fatter and it was just a wee bit domed. That gives me a little bit more substance when I go to attach. Okay, so let me get that stuff out of the way.
Scott says he uses your conical mug template to make mugs and has made 4 so far.
Hey, all right, Scott. That's great. That is awesome. My kids use that all the time at school. So I'm going to fess up. I did not get this even. Oops. But that's okay because I can trim it. I should have been a little bit more precise on trying to figure out exactly how to measure that, I guess. Okay. So here I'm just going to compress this.
Jen asked, did you add the slab divider before putting sides together or after?
Before. If I wanted to put a divider on this, I would have gone ahead and just stuck it in the middle. But I just thought I would leave that out for today. Yeah, I did the slab, I think, at the moment when I was putting it together. And it helps to kind of clean up this this interior too. Because, see, like, it's a little funky in there. I'm going to have to do some cleaning on that. Okay. And these, if you guys don't have the Cheryl ribs, man, I can't tell you how much I love these things. On my Google Doc of things that I like that I'll try to get posted here, it is one of my top 10 items that I would not want to do without in my studio. I love the baby ribs, especially. I use them so much. Okay, I'm going to put my towel back again. There we go. Okay, so now I definitely need to even that up. I could sure form it, but I'm just going to try to go a little bit faster. What time do we have? Okay, I only have 7 minutes. This is just like at school. The bell's going to ring. It's always funny at the I'm trying to get something done at the end and the kids are watching the clock. They're like, you have 3 minutes left. And I'm like, okay. All right, we're just going to pretend that there's a little bit more even. And then I'll take a Sureform or a shredder. I continuously call these things Sureforms because Stanley is the manufacturer that makes Sureforms. And that's what I first learned, like, oh my gosh, how many years? 30 some years ago, 33 years ago probably is when I first started working in clay. So it's hard for me to get out of the habit of calling them Sureforms, but this is a Mud Tools shredder. Okay. All right. So that's together. Now let me show you how I'd finish off the edge, because this is also quite fun. Okay. I'm going to set my little boat there. And can you hand me the bat that's on the wheel? Okay. So I also threw some just rings. Okay. So this was just a big piece of clay. Imagine almost like a small plate, right? I went to the bat, pulled it out, and then I had this wall, and then I separated it. So I have 2 rings here. I can use either of these, and I made a couple because I didn't know which pot I would be doing for you guys. So let me just recut it off. So this has been sitting out for a couple of hours, so it's still soft enough to be real flexible. Okay, now I'm going to just take off the smaller of the 2 rings. Okay, put that aside. Oh, and I should mention, I use a damp box. If you guys don't use a damp box, that is the game changer, #1 thing that I would recommend. I love damp boxes. Okay. What is Jocelyn saying? I see a question.
Wait, where?
Yes,
I don't know.
I'm teaching this semester's kids remotely. Unfortunately, none of my kids will be able to work in clay because we were given the information that we were going to be out on a Thursday evening. None of us expected it on Thursday evening. We actually thought it was going to happen on Friday. Because our governor made an announcement on Thursday, probably like at 2 or something, when we were watching the news, and we're like, oh, we're going to be told tomorrow that we're going to be out. So I was planning on that following day, that Friday, that I would be giving kids clay so they could work on some small stuff, but they have no clay. So my course has now turned into a ceramic enrichment course. We've been on spring break for the last week. So starting tomorrow, I'm going to be doing everything remotely with them.
This is a funny comment. Jessica says, I call my damp box my naughty box for pots that don't mind.
That is awesome. I can't do that at school, but I might have to do that at home now. That is so funny. The naughty box. Okay. So I've got my edge slipped and scored. Let me just move that out of the way. And then I'm going to score this. Boy, I am working super messy here today. I normally don't have so much stuff all over the place, but I wanted to try to show you as much as I could in the hour. How much time do I have left? I only have 4 minutes. I wanted to show you one other thing too. Okay, so then I would lay this around, and this edge could even be a smaller edge than what I made. Okay, so as this comes around, let me just break this here. As this comes around, using the good old trick that we've been doing all the cuts today, we're going to make a bevel again. Okay, so I'm going to slice it at a bevel. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Okay. And, oh, I think I stretched it. Let me try that again. There we go. Okay, so then that bevel would meet up, and it's a much better joint to do a bevel than, again, a blunt cut would end up by perhaps pulling apart. Then I would really get in there. I would do quite a bit of cleanup on the interior, the exterior. So let me just show you this one. Again, how I kind of clean that one up. Put my little stamp, put some little handles on it, put little chubby little legs on there. Again, you could throw a foot ring in the same manner. Okay. And then, oh, who has questions? Who has questions? Anybody? I'm so sorry. I'm just going right to the end. I wanted to show you this one too. This is also another tiny one. Let me just scoot that. Okay. This one I wanted to show you because it's kind of fun to have throwing lines. Does anybody have questions out there? Okay. I'm just going to mark this.
What about leveling the bottom so it doesn't rock?
I would not level that, but I would probably make either a foot ring. I could throw a foot ring. So imagine just a larger version of that. Okay. I could throw something like that. It could be like a foot ring, like a stand, or I could make the little legs. Okay. But I would be keeping this one round. Okay. Any other questions out there, you guys? I wanted to show you this one here because this one I threw it with concentric rings. I should say I probably trimmed it like that. So see how concentric rings, and then as I take it apart and I put it together, it's kind of cool. You've got the rings there. So I wanted to show that too, because that one didn't have much in the way of rings. Okay. All right. Gosh, I packed a lot in. Thank you all for joining us. All right. It's noon, so I guess it's my time is done. It has been fun. Hey, if you haven't done it yet and you're interested, subscribe to my channel, Karen's Pots and Glass. Okay, I'm on YouTube. If you look up me on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, I'm also Karen's Pots and Glass. So I'd love to have you guys, stay in touch. It's been so much fun. Thank you for being so nice and so sweet. And I was so nervous coming into this, but you guys were great. Thank you all so much. If you have any questions, you can still put them in there and I'll try to answer them. Thanks. Take care. Stay healthy. Keep potting. Bye.